So this is actually a story about my first trip down south. So I just want to warn you now. But the thing is, down south, sometimes doing the right thing is not the same thing as we would do up here. My first trip down south was to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Has anybody ever been to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee? What is Pigeon Forge, Tennessee the home of? Dollywood. Dolly Parton's theme park. The occasion was my 15th birthday. I don't know why we were going to Dollywood on my 15th birthday, but I do know that around that time my parents decided it was time for us to take a trip down south, down to Tennessee, to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, home of Dollywood. I really don't remember the reason for that. So my first thing that I noticed that was different about the South was we were on our way down there, and we stopped at I think it was a sports bar to have some lunch while we were on our road trip. And I remember sitting there in the restaurant, and we ordered Dr. Peppers. This is me, my mom, my dad, and my cousin JP. Me, my dad, and JP, we all ordered Dr. Peppers, and our waiter was named Shane. Of course, I actually have a cousin named Shane, but other than that, I've never met another Shane in my life. I went to Tennessee and met a couple. So Shane thought that Southern hospitality was always the right thing to do in the South. So he made sure that our Dr. Peppers were always full. Took a sip, and he asked, "Do you want some more Dr. Pepper?" And, we'd be like, "I'm all right. I'm good for now." And he'd come sort of around the corner all of a sudden, and he'd have the pitcher of Dr. Pepper, and he'd pour a little bit more in. And, have another couple of sips of Dr. Pepper halfway through the meal, and all of a sudden he's there with Dr. Pepper again, filling it up. And that's when I learned that the right thing to say when somebody in the South asks you if you want more soda is always yes, no matter how much you've had so far. So we continued on the rest of our road trip, ended up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And I remember the first night we were there in our hotel, and me and JP, a couple teenagers, wanted to go down and swim in the pool. So we're swimming down in the pool, it's about 9 o'clock at night, they're getting ready to close, and we're having a good time, and all of a sudden the door to the pool opens, and in walks this girl. And this girl looked like heaven. I swear, she's calling to mind Dollywood, and Dolly Parton in certain ways. But, here she walks into the pool in her orange bikini, and to our 14, 15-year-old minds, this was what life was all about. What could be a better birthday? So she comes in, and she looks like she's maybe, like 18, a little old for us, but, that's not going to stop us. So we're swimming in the pool, and she goes right into the hot tub. And, we're 15, we decide we're going to try to get her attention, try to impress her. So, we're 15, we start doing, epic competitions. We do swimming laps, and, we wrestle in the pool, and we think this is going to somehow get this girl's attention. And, eventually she, my cousin's a little older than me, he's a little wiser. Eventually she, gets up, leaves briefly, but her towel's still there. We know she's coming back. She's like, "Come on, let's just get in the hot tub, and we'll be there when she gets back." So we get in the hot tub, thinking that's kind of the smooth thing to do. She comes back, she sits down. We actually start talking, start having, good conversation, find out, where she's from. And we're getting along, we're hitting it off, we're having a really good time. And then this guy comes in, and he's dressed in the hotel uniform, and he says, "The pool's about to close." And we were just getting into a groove. We were finally getting this girl's attention, we were getting into this groove of conversation. What are we going to do? The pool's going to close. So we learned from Shane about Southern hospitality is that you always, offer more. And the thing was, we actually had a pool in our room, a hot tub in our room. My parents were in an ensuite. We had the separate front area, and there was a hot tub in there. It's like a Holiday Inn. I don't know why they had a hot tub in there, but they had one. So we learned Southern hospitality. Invite the girl up. It's the right thing to do. She wants more hot tub. We can offer more hot tub. So we invite Morgan up to our room, and then we get upstairs. And first, my cousin tries to turn on the hot tub. Can't figure it out. It's 10, 15. He's like, "Buddy, come here. Can you figure this out?" And so she's sitting there watching TV while we try to get the hot tub going. I can't figure it out. It's starting to get a little awkward. We invite her up, promised her a hot tub, can't work it out. So then I had to decide, I started thinking, my dad probably knows how to work the hot tub. He's just in the room right there. is it the right thing to do for me to knock on the door? He's probably sleeping. And, you know, you can't let her down, so I decided to knock on the door. And he comes out, and he actually is a little bit shocked. But he goes through the same process of figuring out, you know, okay, here's my 15-year-old son. He's got this bombshell up in the hotel room. Doesn't seem like they're going to do anything too bad. He wants to turn on the hot tub. So my dad goes through this calculation. Is it the right thing to do to figure out how to turn on the hot tub? And he did. And eventually she went home, and we never saw her again. And it became one of those family stories that, you know, it's just all about the time we met Morgan in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. But that was the day that I learned that if I am ever lucky enough to have a son who someday knocks on my hotel room door at 10:30 at night and asks me, Dad, can you help me figure out how to turn the hot tub on? I will know exactly the right thing to do.